Hi, Black Gypsy here. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be talking about what are people afraid to tell you? What are people afraid to tell you? So today we have two piles. Pile number one is represented by this sensual rose lady candle, hand painted by me. And the second one, pile number two, is represented by this baby lion toy. Pile number one, pile number two, timestamps will be in the description box below. Pick your pile and I'll see you at your reading. Just a note, keep in mind some of these messages will be triggering. So if you can't handle the message, please click out of this video and look at my other videos that are in this channel. Otherwise, see you at your reading. Hi. If you pick pile number one with this Rose Lady sensual candle, let us see what are people afraid to tell you. Okay, pile number one. What are people are afraid to tell you? Before we get into our tarot cards, let us look at the oracle messages that we have for today. The first card we have here says, I am determined. The next card says, focus. Now, onto our tarot cards. The first card we have here is the Three of Swords in reversed. The second card here is the Three of Wands. And the last card here we have the Two of Cups in reverse. However, when I pulled out this card, it says duality, but this is not part of the tarot, so I decided to draw another card to get a clearer message. And here we have the Two of Cups. So, what are people afraid to tell you? Pile number one. So we have a couple of threes here. We have 1 3 here, 1 3 here. 3 is a card about growth. It's a card about collaboration. And what people are afraid to tell you has something to do with you collaborating with people or something to do with your growth. Now we'll start here with the Three of Swords in reverse. You might have hurt someone's feelings, or you hurt people's feelings without knowing here with the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is all about heartbreak. It's all about stress. It's about trauma. But it came up in reverse, so people are trying to heal from what it is that you said to them. Maybe you didn't mean to. I'm getting here with the Three of Swords, but for some reason, maybe you have a lot of sensitive acquaintances, or maybe you have a lot of sensitive friends, and you probably might have said something that could have hurt them. Maybe you didn't even notice that. Here with the Three of Swords. And next we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, I really am drawn on how this man's back is facing towards me. You know, we don't see the face. Something tells me that you're going about your day. You know, you're looking looking for opportunities, you're doing your own thing. But me looking at this card, I could represent the people that you hurt. Why? Because I see your back, I don't see your face. And it's giving me like, you don't notice that I'm in pain. You don't notice that what you said was offensive or what you did was offensive, and you're just sleeping better at night. You're just, like I said, going about your day, and people are in pain and people are afraid to tell you this. With the Two of Cups in reverse here, the last card, what people are afraid to tell you is they may not understand where the relationship is going. They feel like the relationship is one-sided. You might be somebody that could be a quote-unquote diva. By what I mean diva is like, you could be seen as someone that's like a big shot. Like for example, when I'm seeing the I am determined card, she's rather attractive. She looks like a queen. You're giving a lot of queen bee vibes. Like you see, there's definitely bees around here. You guys might have the persona of like Beyonce in a way, like Beyonce and Destiny's Child, where Beyonce is in charge of the group, and then you have Kelly, Michelle, and then you have the other two young ladies that were part of the group. Even though they've been friends for quite some time, but it seems like you have this Beyonce concept where it's like you are in control, or you have so much power that it's very, very hard for people to like maybe share their side of the story, share their ideas, maybe give you criticism in a way. And with that Two of Cups, there's a sense of imbalance in the relationship, and people may not like that. Maybe you that's that. I mean, like I said, like you could be put on a pedestal on a lot of people. Sometimes people can be intimidated by that, and they're afraid to tell you this because maybe they could be a sense of like, they don't want to be seen as like a wimp. They don't want to feel like a wimp. They believe that they'll never ever amount to the success that you have, the ambitions that you have. And with the Focus card, what people are afraid to tell you is that you're very focused on what it is that you're doing. And whatever it is that you put your mind onto, if there's something in the way, you could be a bit aggressive about it, to the point where you might hurt people's feelings. Like for example, let's just say you're a photographer, a very, very good photographer, and you're about to take a picture, and your friend is standing in the way of the object that the person is trying to take the picture of, like you're trying to take the picture of. And you might come across as like mean, as like, ew, get away from the picture, get away from the camera, you're standing in the way, you don't look good. Even though that's like very mean, but maybe you're very passionate in your craft, that you don't want anything to mess it up. Like you really want this picture to be great. However, you could be very insensitive on how you conveyed your message towards your friend. Like you could have been a little bit more nice. So you'd be like, hey, you're standing in the way, can you move away a little bit, and I'm going to take this picture, instead of just barking at them and saying mean things or stuff like that. So there's something, what people are afraid to tell you is you could be someone very ambitious. Your ambitions could scare people, and they want you to be like, I want to, maybe people want to be a part of your project, but you could provide a lot of strong constructive criticism, or you could be, or the way you talk or the way you communicate can be a bit brash. And that's what people are afraid to tell you here. what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pull three cards from my truth picture to fine tune this message a bit further. We have Goddess. We have Dancer. And we have Gypsy. Goddess, Dancer, Gypsy. I'm getting an artistic vibe from these cards. Something very artistic about you, pile number 1. And we'll start here with the Goddess card. People might view you as someone that's very powerful, as I said before. Where I referenced Beyonce, a lot of people view Beyonce as very, very powerful. And you can't. And the thing about this card is that they can't tell you nothing, because people feel like you know what it is that you want. There's a specific way. It is as if the universe is by your side in some way, shape, or form, right? How you speak, it will manifest in a matter of months, in a matter of weeks, and people are surprised. They see you as very, very powerful here with the Goddess card. So what people are afraid to tell you is that they could be intimidated by your power. The next card we have here is Dancer. Dancer, when I think of Dancer, I think of movement, rhythmically, artistically. There's something, what people are afraid to tell you is that they see that you're being guided. There's something rather spiritual about you, pile number 1. Like, people see the art, see your success as like a work of art. However, how you got to your success, it's very hard to figure out with certain people. Like, for example, the traditional way of like life is, after college you would get a job to make money, and then you get a home, and then possibly get married and start your own family. A lot of people still think that you need to have like a corporate job to make ends meet to achieve that. But with you, pile number 1, there is something about you where you go against the grain. You don't follow that traditional route, and yet you still manage to achieve success. Some of you may not have went to college, may have not gotten a job at a Fortune 500 company. Okay, but however, there is something about how you move with this Dancer card. It's rather rhythmic, rather consistent, even spontaneous, that you were able to maybe create a business, create some sort of hustle on your own that makes people go, huh, how did pile number 1 do this? And not only that, they do it so effortlessly. They created this business, they created this side hustle, or they worked with certain people for them to create this wonderful empire that they can't make. Like when I say they, I'm talking about your friends, your acquaintances. Like, they're just like, I'm still at this job even though I'm making good money, but it's not fun like pile number 1. And people are afraid to ask, or people are afraid of you because it's just not normal. Last but not least, we have the Gypsy card. Gypsy is all about being free-spirited, moving one place to another. I guess what people are afraid to tell you is when you're going to settle down. When are you going to settle down? Because Gypsy and the Three of Wands, these are cards about movement, seeking new things, or opportunities coming to you. You know, you're just like, wow, what people are afraid to tell you is like you're all over the place. And they are wondering, when are you going to like, you know, just maybe with the Two of Cups in reverse, when are you going to settle down and have a relationship with them? And I'm not talking about romantic only, it could be platonic, because with the Two of Cups is all about like connecting with people. I feel like with the Goddess and the Dancer and the Gypsy, you're somebody that's very attractive. You're very attractive. Maybe you have a lot of people that want to get to know you, but you're doing one thing and then another thing and another thing, and it ends up like breaking people's hearts, making them feel sort of like stressed out. Or sometimes people might feel like, I'll never be as attractive as pile number one, being busy with different things, working on different projects. And with the Gypsy card and this I am determined card, you probably have a very unique aesthetic. And with the Goddess, like you have a very beautiful aesthetic towards you. Like you might look like a goddess, you might dress like a queen here. There's something about the way you accessorize yourself. What people are afraid to tell you is that you look really, really pretty. You look really divine. How did you get your hair like that? How did you get your makeup like that? Where did you get those earrings? It's very, very unique. However, what I'm getting with the Three of Wands, they might feel insecure because maybe they feel like you will criticize them and say that, oh, this outfit might be a bit too expensive for you, or this headpiece or makeup may not go well with your skin tone, or may not go well with your body type, etc., etc. There could be some sort of criticism here. Let's see. So yeah, so overall what I'm getting here with the cards, what people are afraid to tell you is you it's just definitely something about your ambition. You're very focused, you're all over the place. People may want you to just try to focus more on your relationships, maybe not be so brash when people start, you know, maybe it's not being so mean towards people when you're focused on your business or on your hobby, your arts and crafts, whatever. And that's it. I think that's it for you, pile number one. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Hi. If you pick pile number two with the baby lion, let us see. What are people afraid to tell you? Okay, pile number two. Before we get into our tarot cards, let us look at the oracle messages that we have for today. This one says, I am curious. This one says obedience. Now, onto our tarot cards. The first card we have is the Ten of Wands. The second card we have is the Three of Wands. And the last card we have is the Death reversed. So, what are people afraid to tell you? Pile number 2. We have 2 cards that deal with the fire element. We have Wands, which talk about like confidence, your spirituality, your drive, your creativity. So what people are afraid to tell you may have something to do with that realm. Also, the Death card is ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by, I think, Mars. Mars is a fire planet. So a lot of something to do with your passions, your creativity, for sure. The Ten of Wands is telling me that people are concerned. What people are afraid to tell you is they may be concerned on how stressed out you are, or you could be stressing people out on certain things. I'm getting more so like what people are afraid to tell you is that they might be a bit concerned with your stress levels. Maybe you're carrying a lot of doing something by yourself when you should not be doing things by yourself. And with the I am curious card, people are definitely curious on what it is that you do for work or what you do on your spare time. I'm seeing here with the man, his eyes are closed and he is partially balding here. People, and I'm also seeing her with a headscarf. And, you know, you have that skeleton here. What people are afraid to tell you is something about your hair. Maybe they're noticing that you might be having hair loss, alopecia, or as they notice that you might need to wash your hair. They might have seen your flakes in your hair. Maybe they heard a rumor about lice. But definitely what people are afraid to tell you is something to do with your hair, or maybe you're working on something that is affecting your hair health. Again, I'm seeing even though he has a head of hair, normally in these cards you would see the face of the subject, but we're seeing the back of the subject. So, and I'm noticing his hair. So what people are afraid to tell you has something to do with your hair. So check your hair, please. With the Three of Wands, what people are afraid to tell you is like it's time for you to get a vacation too. You need to relax. Three of Wands is all about seeing what's out there, opportunities, expansion. It's time for you to look out for new things. And maybe you're working very, very hard. Maybe you're in a relationship that's stressing you out. It's time for you to put down these different wands or these different tasks, these different burdens, and go out and see the world. Maybe go to a beach. I am seeing something about like balance here. What people are afraid to tell you is something to do with how you balance, and because he's sitting on these wands, and I just think about like good balance. What people are afraid to tell you is that you may need to work on your balance. Some of you guys might be going to the gym. Some of you guys might be lifting weights, and maybe you go to the gym by yourself and people are noticing how you lift your weights is not safe, and you need to maybe tone it down a notch, maybe get a trainer, but you need to work on your balance here. And this kind of reminds me of ballet with the bar. Some of you guys might be ballet dancers. Maybe that criticism could come from your ballet teacher. Last but not least, we have the Death card. what people are afraid to tell you. I do see the Death card in reverse. This is something about being irresistant to change. What people are afraid to tell you is it's time for you to let something go. You're you're very, very stubborn about letting something go. And I don't know if it's because you like the job, maybe you like the relationship, maybe you like what you're doing, maybe you enjoy the stress, but with that Death card, it's time for you to let it go. If you don't let it go, people are afraid that you might lose your life. All right, I don't know what it is. Like I said, it could be that the weights at the gym, if you keep working out the way you do dangerously, you might hurt yourself to the point where you may not even have another opportunity to lift weights. And people want you to be very, very careful. It's time for you to go expand out into other avenues or get some help. With the obedience card, when I see this card, it's something tells me that some of you guys are in a very, very toxic job. Like you're obeying somebody, you're listening to somebody that you should not be listening to. And whoever that person that you're listening to here is contributing with the Ten of Wands. I am seeing her eyes blindfolded and his eyes are closed. What people are afraid to tell you may have something to do, like maybe some people want you to get glasses. It's time for you to get some glasses. Some of you guys are very reluctant to get your eyes checked. Some of you guys don't want to wear glasses, but however, your lack of eyesight, maybe your coworkers noticing that you're taking forever to to complete tasks because it takes forever for you to read something. It's time for you to start maybe getting glasses. Another thing that I'm getting here is that what people are afraid to tell you is that you're not seeing something. You're not seeing something. It's like you want to ignore something, and they want you to start opening your eyes and realize that whatever it is that you're trying to ignore, you can't avoid. So with that Death card here, maybe you guys might have recently gone through a change, and you guys just trying to deny it. Right, some of you guys might have had a death in the family, I'm sorry, or a death to someone that was close to you, and you're trying to deny it here with the obedience card. Like you just keeping it serious, you're keeping it straight, but in actuality you're in pain, and it's time for you to, and then what people are afraid to tell you is time for you to move on from that big transformation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 cards from my truth picture to fine-tune this message a bit further. We have Gangster. We have King. We have Star. Gangster, King, and Star. I'm getting, with these cards, there's something rather tough about you. Pile number 2. You got a very tough persona. We're going to start here with the Gangster. What people are afraid to tell you with the Gangster card is there's something about like I don't need any help vibes with the Gangster card. The Gangster, sometimes some gangsters, not all of them, are lone wolves. They rebel against society and they're very, very intimidating. But you know what they say, hurt people hurt people. So with the Gangster card here, there's something about you where it's like, I don't need any help. I can do it all by myself. And, you know, from the outside, it looks cool. but from the inside it's very, very, very painful. Everybody needs help in something. So with the gangster and the Ten of Wands, I getting that correlation effect that people are afraid to tell you that they want to help, right? And also I'm getting here with the gangster and the Ten of Wands is like, they might even say it like, you need help. Like they're afraid to tell you like what you're doing is very, very harmful. You can't do this by yourself. You need our help. And it's time to let go of all of these wands, this circus ass thinking like you're too good for us. Right? It's really, really bad for your health. And also lastly, what people are afraid to tell you is that it's not cool to be alone. That's what they're trying to say. It's not cool to be by yourself. And you can't be by yourself. You can't handle yourself. People are afraid to say that you're just going to harm yourself. You might even go to jail. You might even die in prison, whatever. With the King card, what people are afraid to tell you with the King card is like you seem like you have it all together here with the King. When I think of King, I think of somebody that's very stable, somebody that has a lot of responsibility, somebody that takes action on things. But also I'm getting a very masculine vibe. What people are afraid to tell you is that you might be someone that's very overtly masculine. You're very masculine, you're very direct. You could be somebody that has some sort of power in something. Here with the gangster and King, some of you might tell other people what to do, and what people are afraid to tell you is that they can't really share opinions with you. They can't like tell you what to do, right? You don't listen to other people. It's hard for people to tell you what to do. I'm also getting a very intimidating vibe here. We have the King, the gangster, the Death card. We have this woman here that looks hunched up, like even though she's curious, but the way she looks is like she's side-eyeing. Like you could make people feel intimidated, maybe by your power, by your presence. Also, I was talking about the health. We do have a skeleton here. Maybe you guys are not eating well. Maybe people are afraid to tell you that your diet choices are not good. Maybe you eat too much junk food, or you're not eating enough healthy foods. But people are afraid to tell you is that you're scary. You're scary. And last but not least, we have Star. What people are afraid to tell you is that you need healing. Star card, when I think of Star, especially in tarot, is like a card about healing, having hope. People see your potential. What people are afraid to tell you is that you have potential to do something great for your life, but you choose to be in the Ten of Wands energy. You choose to have the burden. You choose not to have help. And with the Obedience card, this card right here, it's telling me like people have no choice but to obey you. They have no choice but to like, well, my opinion is not going to matter. Pile number 2 is not going to listen to me. I'm just going to have to follow what pile number 2 says, because if I don't, then I might be facing consequences. But with the Star card is that what people are afraid to tell you is that they're praying for you. What people are afraid to tell you is that there's something inspirational about you. However, the way you're living your life now, they don't like it, but they feel like you can pull through. They feel like you can pull through. Now, why are people afraid to tell you this? Let's just pull a card out. I didn't do this for the previous pile, but why are people afraid to tell you this? I'm just going to draw a card. Why are people afraid to tell you this? The Emperor. Yeah. You're the emperor. Why else? The emperor. The emperor is all about the king, the gangster, the say all be all. I have the final say. And it came up in reverse, so there is a sense of abuse of power here. There's a sense of like dictatorship. Maybe dictatorship over your own life, pile number 2. Like you want to take everything in control. You want to be the one that controls everything. You don't want to listen to people's advice. You don't want to, you know, like maybe take a break. But people see that. People see, matter of fact, people see that you are very powerful. People see you as a leader. But the thing is that maybe people want you to lead them. Maybe they see you have a lot of wisdom. You might have a lot of knowledge from the school of hard knocks, the hard knocks of life. But it's like there's a sense of selfishness. There's a sense of you trying to like, I really like the struggle life. I really like the struggle, and I'm not going to get out of it. But this reading is saying that it's time for you to pull through. It's time for you to get out of that energy. And that's what people are afraid to tell you. And they feel like you won't listen because you feel like you have all the answers and you don't need any other help. So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.